Namo Buddhaya and good morning. I am in the forest here, rather late with answering some questions. So this is my first questions and answers session, let's call it, from this new forest location on the west coast of Karnataka, South India. Bhante, please can you make a video about possessions you have and carry? Okay, possessions I have and carry. And DW, he refers to these as the 8 requisites, which is correct. They are the 8 requisites. And I'm sorry I've forgotten the Pali name, Atta, 8 Karya or something like this. The 8 requisites are, this is what a monk is allowed to own, and this is all and only what a monk is allowed to own. They are 3 robes, which is the lower robe, the upper robe, and an outer robe, otherwise known as the Sangati. A Sangati is the same as the upper robe, with the exception it is double thickness and can be used as a blanket or something, to keep you warm. It's like our overcoat, put it that way. Ordinarily though, it is carried folded in a particular way over one's left shoulder in formal temple procedures, like the reciting of the Patimokkha in the Sema, and it must be kept with us along with the other two parts of the robes and the bowl every night. There are no exceptions. We must not be parted from these for even one night. There is one exception: from the full moon of October, if we've received Katina privileges, until the following full moon in November. We have 1 month where we're really sorting out new robes and things and where we're going to live, moving around, a bit like I am doing now. That's the 3 robes, 1, 2, 3. Our pindabat, our bowl, our alms bowl, with which we walk into town or to the village to collect our food each and every day for our one meal. A belt, this is to help hold our lower robe securely in place. A water filter, mainly to ensure that if we're drinking natural water from streams or wells, that we filter out any living beings that may be in there, so as we don't inadvertently drink them and therefore kill them. A needle and cotton for the important repair of any snags or holes in those robes. If any hole appears in those robes of more than the diameter of a matchstick, it must be sewn and repaired by the following dawn, the following morning. This is one of the 227 Patimokkha rules. So it's important to always carry this needle and cotton. And often this is an actual thing. It happens in the forest. You snag your robe and then you have to be quite quick because it gets dark and you cannot be sewing in the dark. And of course it needs to be done before dawn. So it's mindfulness, being aware of this damage. And a razor, finally, is number 8. A razor, of course, for this shaving of our head. We shave our heads on the day before Uposatha, the day before the full moon, the day before the new moon, the dark moon, Purnima, or I'm not sure the other word in India. But, monks often leave it longer. You can go up to 3 months or up to 2 fingers breadth, I think, in length, is permissible. But from the tradition I'm familiar with and my background, it was a kind of additional rule that we always shaved our heads the day before Uposatha. It means that when we go for the Patimokkha recitation, we're nice and shiny and smart. So it's a good discipline, it's also a good routine, and it makes you not have to think about it, you just do it automatically. That is the 8 requisites that a monk will carry. I think that's enough for this video, because I'm having to hold the phone up in the air, I see, looking here, I've got actually quite a few questions and answers. Well, obviously not the answers, I'm hoping to be able to provide the answers, but I think if I try and keep these little messages to less than 5 minutes or thereabouts. They're a little bit more easy to digest. I hope that was of interest to you and answers your questions, DW. I mean, I will add, of course, you may say, well, you've got a phone, monk, there, otherwise how would you make this video? Yes, I do. And also I have some sandals on my feet, which aren't part of the 8 requisites. What else do I have? I have a bag thing called a yam, like a monk's bag you may have seen, to carry any sort of things that, well, in there, my passports, visas, bits and bobs like this. Now, one has to consider, you know, we're in the modern age, and there are certain things we need to carry. It's a requirement sometimes, for instance, a visa, for me to carry my passport and visa around India as I travel about, and all countries usually. So they are considered okay, but the way we look at this really is, for instance, this phone and my sandals even, these are used, these are things we're using, these are things we aren't owning. So lay supporters can provide us with these extra items, and we can give them to someone else, or we could share them, pass them around each other, who needs what. These are things we use, like a chair in a room, or a carpet on a floor. Just because we're laying on it on a mat, it doesn't mean we own it. The official things we own are those 8 only. So I hope that helps, and I'll look forward to answering some more questions in the next message from this beautiful forest environment here on the west coast of South India. Namo Buddhaya.